And we welcome you all live to Jags Bar and Grill in north side of Fort Wayne, Indiana for episode number 2 of News from the Field. Michael McIntyre, Dave Mazzillo, glad to be with you. I want to thank the fine folks at Jags Bar and Grill for having us out on a somewhat mild-weathered Thursday evening. Got a nice view of Lima Road off to our right. Looking up at the screen, waiting for everything to get kicked off from the folks down at Pensacola, part of the 50th annual Snowball Derby. But in the meantime, we're going to talk Baer Field. And after episode number 1 of this, did we really expect we were going to go this far with show number 2?
No, it was a lot bigger than what I anticipated it was going to be.
Well, and I'm just going to say, we got so much of a good response out of the inaugural show 2 weeks ago. I was trying to mute your phone so it wasn't bleeding over in the background, by the way. Oh. So just turn your phone down, Dave. But in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for coming out here to Jags Bar and Grill for episode number 2 of News from the Field. See a lot of our racers out in the crowd as well. We'll probably get a chance to talk to them a little bit later on. See likes Tommy Cook out in the crowd. Sean Poffenberger sitting at the bar enjoying himself a good time. Saw Mike Grabner walking around as well, plus everybody else that's joined us out here for a kind of nice night just to sit around and talk racing. We know the winter months are a little bit of a dull time to talk about motorsports, but that being said, we got a lot of news going on at the track, including a little bit of an announcement we got officially coming tomorrow, and that's in regards to the 2018 pavement track season schedule.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, I figured we probably should talk about that, considering that's kind of the highlight of the week. So, Dave Mazzillo, you are the master of ceremonies and everything, so you can go ahead and highlight some of the big events that we'll have out at Baer Field in 2018.
Well, as everybody knows, we're going to open up on April 7th. Boy, that's loud. That's loud.
Oh, that's loud. Turn it down a bit. Okay, fine.
We got on May 19th, it's the Hall of Fame night, and we're also having a big birthday party going to be our 55th year racing out at the Motor Park. You excited for cake and ice cream?
Do I look like I ever miss cake and ice cream?
Nope.
That's what I thought.
We got the Vors compacts coming in on June 2nd. Hi, Scott. I see you're back. Keener.
Yeah, Keener always watching. In fact, Scott Keener was so dedicated to the show earlier, he was watching the test stream on my YouTube channel. That's how excited he was. You got nothing to follow that up with, do you?
No. Stalker, probably.
Well, I mean, it does come customary with us.
We're going to have 2 CRA Sportsman races this year. One of them is going to be on June 23rd, and the next one is going to be on August 4th. Now, the August 4th is the last leg of the Triple Crown for CRA. It's going to be a 100-lap race, 2,000 to win.
Go over that again. We're going to send the sportsman on 100 laps all over again.
Yep, half mile. 2,000 to win.
Really?
Yep.
You didn't tell me about the bonus money part. All you told me was 100 laps. You didn't tell me the extra cash incentive. So everybody out there with sportsman cars, Merry Christmas from the folks at Baer Field Motorsports Park, I guess.
Who should we write the check to? Tommy?
Tommy Cook? No, we can't automatically give it to him just because he's sitting right there.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's looking at us right now like, you guys talking about me? Don't worry, Tommy. We're making you come up here in a little bit. Don't feel bad. No, but aside from the 2 sportsman shows, got the other 2 divisions of CRA coming back this year as well.
Correct. We got the Jags on All-Star race on June 30th, and we also have the 100-lap street stock race going. Now, keep in mind.
Now, we say that with the Jags race, weather permitting. Considering all 3 times we tried it this year, we got rained out of all 3 of them, so we're hoping to bring the Jag Series back this year.
Yeah, that was depressing. All that work down the toilet.
Well, and the fact that we rained out the first day, we were maybe looking at the Sunday option, no dice. We waited another week, got rained out again, then we tried to put it in July, and it still decided to rain. So which one of us is praying to the witch doctor of the weather this year? Is that you or me?
I got the chicken bones out there already.
You already got the chicken bones?
Yep.
Okay, I'll get the headdress from the old NHRA starter and see if that can't get us anywhere.
Now, with these CRA races that are coming in, if you're a registered Baer Field Motorsports driver before the beginning of the year, your entry fees are already been taken care of for these races.
Again, Merry Christmas, Dave Mazzillo. And if you guys need the address of where to send the Christmas presents that Dave needs for that, you want to go ahead and give that out too, or do you just want nobody showing up?
No, they'll show up.
What, for Christmas dinner?
I hope so.
That depends. Are you cooking or is Jody cooking?
I'm leaving town.
You're leaving town?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. No, as long as we got that note.
Jody don't know it yet, but she's going to Kansas.
Kansas?
Yeah.
She doesn't look too enthused about that right now.
She does.
You sure?
Yeah.
Be careful about what you say right now.
Yeah.
Jody wasn't here for show number 1. She's within earshot now, so you do run the risk of danger now.
And then we're going to be selling Pinewood Derby cars. A lot of people don't know what Pinewood Derby cars are, but it's a little car with a block of wood and your 4 wheels, and you carve it out and you make it to whatever you want. But we're going to have a kids' day on August 18th, and you get to race against the racers during the day with your little Pinewood Derby car.
So what you're really saying is we've given a whole new opportunity for all the racers to find another class they can cheat in.
No.
Because when I was in Boy Scouts, that was the big thing, is which parent could out-cheat the other parent best for Pinewood Derby.
If you put the lead in the front and you put wooden shavings over it and hide it, it's legal.
That's what we did.
I know.
We shaved it down and then put a washer weight in the bottom of it so we could change the center of gravity in the car. It was so perfected that I had my mom take the car to where she worked at the time and put it on the USPS, the actual scanner that would get it close to the weight for when they weighed postage, and I was something like 0.001 off on the max weight, and they still shaved me down in pre-race tech, for the lack of a better term. It was back before Ricky Brooks was the well-known commodity down at the Derby.
No room of doom there?
No, there was no room of doom other than they put it on their scale, and I was almost wanting to pull a Scott Bloomquist and argue about the weights and measures, but I was 7 and didn't know what that meant yet. But anyway, more scheduling announcements. The Gold Cup race is coming back for the CRA Super Series on July 28th, if I'm correct.
Correct.
And that'll be 100 laps on the half mile for the Super Series cars and what will be, I believe, the 20th running of that great event. And if you're curious of the previous winners of that race, it is available on the website at BearfieldMotorpark.com. Easy for me to say. Now, before everybody starts bombarding with the question of it, Force Compact Touring Series is coming back. The definite date for the Auto Value Super Sprints is still being worked on. Go in a little bit about that.
Yeah, Hartzell's out in Vegas.
Gambling your money away?
Not my money.
You sure?
Oh, yeah.
You had 2 of his shows last year. I figured he had to get you something for it.
No, by now he's already spent it all.
But the Auto Value Super Sprints will not be on the official release tomorrow of the schedule, but like I said, they will be back in 2018, and they will be on the half mile as normal. Now, as far as everything else goes, we got a couple other surprises that are in the works that we can't really hit too much at, but for everybody out there, you definitely want to keep the middle 3 weeks of July on your calendar. Not so much just motorsports related, but a couple of other goodies that we're hoping to officially announce here in the coming weeks as well.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
I was going to say, I didn't know if you wanted to go there or not. I figured I would just tease it, and then you could give me the, there's no way to, for you to cheat her off camera and say that. You just got to go hit yes or no or hit me in the good knee, so I know to shut up or not.
Shut up.
Okay, at least you're blunt about it.
So October, we're going to have a 2-day show in October.
That was September.
Yeah, September, you're right.
You're not good with calendars, are you?
There is 2 races in October.
Well, yeah, but your 2-day show is September 14, 15, or 15, 16, I'm trying to remember.
Whatever the Saturday, Sunday is.
Yeah, whatever that Saturday, Sunday is. I think it's the 15th and 16th.
It's going to be a run what you bring, and we're going to do, we're going to try to set a world record.
Good, go run with your run show. I'm trying to think of the last time we actually had one of those down here in Fort Wayne.
Well, a lot of people asked for it last year and the year before, so we're gonna do it, and we're gonna see who's gonna be the fastest car ever traveled around Bearfield.
And if you're curious as far as run what you brung, what we're talking about is very similar to what they do up at Kalamazoo for the Call of the Wild show. It's basically whatever you can Frankenstein your way into building in the garage. That's what you're allowed to bring out and come. Now, up there, they've kind of eased everybody as far as what tire they want to be on. Is this totally no holds barred, or is there a certain set of parameters you want guys to be in?
Modifieds and late models, of course, on the D800s, and Comanches on the street stocks, and the 790s on the other 2 classes.
No, I'm talking as far as world record.
No.
If it's run what you brung, I mean, where
I don't know.
Have you come up with as far as where you want them to play in within safe, or are you just wanting to see how creative everybody can engineer?
I would rather see them on a tire that they're normally run on, so we don't have any big problems.
Safety first all the time.
Yeah.
Especially because in the modern economics of the sport has not been kind, especially as far as in the insurance world, with a couple of accidents that have happened at various short tracks and various super speedways around. So there is a certain level of gotta play nice a little bit.
I want everybody to go home with their families.
That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, the big thing to keep in mind with short track racers is yes, they may perform on Saturday nights all the time, but the big thing to keep in mind is they are someone's dad, they are someone's brother, they are someone's son. So we don't want to see anybody not going home on a Saturday night, especially with the safety advancements we've seen within the last 15 or so odd years.
Correct.
Now, as far as the other scheduling announcements, we teased a little bit on the train race idea. So for those of us that were not with us for show number 1, explain a little bit of the concept of what your train race is going to be, and they're going to run about 7 or 8 shows next year? I'll say it was 7.
Yeah, I think so. So you have 3 front-wheel drive cars. Car number 1 has motor, no brakes. Second car, no motor, no brakes.
It's just the dead car.
Dead car. Third car, no motor, but brakes.
I did see something because somebody was floating around on Facebook not that long ago. They had almost a double-decker type train. Or did you look at that? Now, I'm sure you saw that. Now, were you starting to ponder when you saw that, or did you immediately look at that and go, no way in hell?
No way. No.
I thought everything you eventually watched on the internet, you immediately went, oh, that'd be cool to try.
I would bring semi-trucks racing before I did that.
Don't do that. We have trees at the far end of the racetrack.
Well,
We've had too many guys run into the trees at the far end of the racetrack. Let's not try to hurt those anymore. That usually goes bad.
Oh, yeah.
Making sure we're checking out the comments, trying to roll in here on Facebook. First chance we've had a chance to go down and kind of look down the list. I'm going to have to refresh on part of it. Brian Confetti Janes likes to say he's going to be the winner of the 100-lap sportsman race. By the way, Confetti, I got your DVDs here with me. No, we're not ordering you wings. That's for you when you get here. Zach Saylor wants more left side weight on something. Scott Keener says hi. We already talked about him. All right, I need to hit refresh unless you got a lot more on yours. As the computer just got refreshed for the Snowball Derby feed.
Your speakers just took a
And
dive.
the speakers just died. I wasn't sure what caused that or not.
No demo derby right now. And I'd like to see semi-racing, but we're just not up to that yet.
Give me 1 second. I got to plug the speaker back in. Wasn't expecting that. But, hey, it's live. It happens.
Yeah. So championship night is going to be August 25th.
Now, championship's going to be August 25th.
Yep.
But go in a little bit about not just the open comp show, that's the 2-day show, the September 15, 16, whatever that Friday or that Saturday, Sunday is. We're bringing back Stocktober, and we're revamping Halloween Havoc. Going a little bit about that as far as the postseason, because we keep hearing for the longest time about how everybody wants the season to go past Labor Day with us, and with some other events that go on without the region, we didn't want to completely step on that. So talk about a little bit about, what we have to schedule around and what you're planning to do with it.
It seems like we got to schedule around a lot of stuff anymore, it seems like.
Oh, it never fails.
But that's what we got to do. We got to work with the other racetracks in the area. We don't want to step on their big shows, and they don't want to step on our big shows. So it's just best to work out that way. Dwayne Demmett, yeah, we're running semis, Dwayne.
As the former head of safety for PTS and our current safety director, I'm pretty sure you just gave that old man a heart attack. That's not nice.
He had his chance to come.
What, to have a say in it, or did you make this without him? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's totally excited right now for a semi-race.
No outlaw sprints for next year. I don't know if they're talking about outlaw sprints on asphalt or dirt, but we can't afford the outlaw sprints on dirt.
Yeah, that's about a $100,000 show before we even put a car on the track. Just throwing that out there. But as far as the outlaw sprints on pavement go, as we brought up just a couple of minutes ago, the outlaw sprints from the Auto Value Super Sprints will be back in 2018 on the half mile, but you're still in the process with series promoter Tom Hartzell finalizing a date because he's currently still out in Vegas gambling away money. And
Promoters meeting.
Oh, promoters?
Yeah.
Promoters meeting, which means they talk business for about 5 minutes and then they go to the casino for the rest of the day.
I ain't saying.
What? You don't want to confess to what you do when you're out there? See, you would confess this if you knew Jody wasn't sitting right here, so that was part of it.
Only went to Vegas once, and I took her with me.
Let's see what else we got here down the list. Somebody wants to know, Dave, talk about tires again, about us having tires already. Go ahead into that a little bit. As far as tire procedure again for next year.
Well, I've just explained it so many times, it's starting to get to be old. But on opening night, you can buy 6 tires. And then the next night, you can buy 2. Now you got to impound a minimum. You got to have a minimum of 4 in the box. Your 2 spares that you bought the first night, and 2 that you're going to run the following week. I know there's guys that's got tires out there that they want to run, and I'm working on maybe a deal where they have to bring them 4 weeks before the race season starts to put them in the box, so we know they've not been tampered with whatsoever.
Now let's see what else we got going on. Keep getting questions about the banquet as well. Have you had a chance to talk with venues and get the date set on that, or are you still working on it because you're waiting for the holiday season to kind of get past?
Well, the tentative date is January 27th.
Okay.
We thought we had a hall that didn't work out. They're going to be using it that week. Made a couple more phone calls today for one. The one's out of the question. It's $300 an hour. Yeah.
I got a joke to make to that, but it's not PG-13 friendly.
Yeah, we don't.
There's an establishment next door that probably charges less than that. Anyway.
Yeah, it was $300 an hour, and they said we needed 3 rooms, so that's $900 an hour. Times that by 6, that's a lot of money.
And got another question as far as the micro-sprint banquet, just to clarify again. All 3, the go-karts, the stock cars, the mini sprints, and the dirt track will all be one banquet, correct?
Correct.
All right. Once again, you said January 27th is the tentative date.
The tentative date.
Okay. Let's see. Somebody's saying we need to go back to Goodyear's. Just to let you guys know, Goodyear stopped making pavement tires about the end of 2012. That's kind of the reasoning why Goodyear has gone away out of the short track world, mainly focusing on their NASCAR efforts. And I keep getting this question all the time about exploring tire options. It's plain and simple. We're an hour and 15 minutes away from our good friends at Hoosier Tire that are a proud supporter of Bearfield Motorsports Park, so it makes the most sense to keep going with Hoosier. I believe you'll completely attest to that, especially because you're kind of the guy that usually has to go get tires.
Well, Tom sells the tires, so.
No, but you go pick them up.
Yeah, I pick up a few. Yes, Lyle, there will be a big mod show. We just haven't. We're trying to work around some other dates with the that new iCar modified series that started.
Not really new.
Well, working with that guy is almost impossible and trying to get a scheduled date. I mean, he's all over the board with that, trying to figure out what dates goes where.
You don't have to beat around it. You can nod your head and acknowledge that you're trying to figure out where the best place to put it is for yourself. You don't have to completely give away the secret.
It's tough.
Let's see what else we got going on.
Well, see, besides my own schedule, fitting it into the Baer Field deal, I also have to fit it in all the other racetrack schedules that we go to with the mod series.
Including that little event that goes on the 3rd weekend of May down in Bristol, Tennessee.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got. Got a question. Is the impound for every class, or is it just late model, mod, and street stock?
That's it.
Okay, late model, mod, street stock. Let's see what else we got going on. Got a question as far as Outlaw Super Lates. We're still kind of contemplating on when a possible date for that would be, but nothing final.
Nothing's final. Terry's working on putting a 6-race series together. Just not 6 races at Baer Field, but 1 at Baer Field and at 5 other venues.
This got brought up a little bit ago. As far as the Outlaw late models go, that a lot of people aren't quite familiar with. Years ago, they were really prominent around this region. But in modern times and modern economics, the outlaw body style cars have kind of since dissipated. And down in this part of the country, there's just not that many to pull from. I brought up with somebody that there's less than 6 south of the toll road. So running them that often down here is kind of difficult. So we try to do the scheduling around with the Outlaws as best we can, trying to figure out how we can get the most amount of cars down here and put on a show for all you great fans that come on out and support the track.
Correct. I mean, there's usually about 16, 18 of the Outlaw guys that will travel around. Normally they stay up in the Kalamazoo, Berlin area.
And we're, along with Toledo, we're kind of the only full half-mile track that Outlaw cars type to run on. And you've worked on Outlaws before. You can fully attest that running an Outlaw is somewhat difficult on a full half-mile, and it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, it's all a lot of fun. So
Joe wants to know on the banquet, top 5 in dirt, top 10 in asphalt. Go-karts are, I think, top 3 and top 3 in the mini sprints.
And I got another question in here as far as big late model races, as discussed earlier. The CRA Sportsman will be going 100 laps, and their first show held in June will be a 50-lap feature event. So those are the 2 headline events as far as the sportsmen go. Can I go a little bit into the Twin 20s we got dreamt up?
You can try.
Okay, a little bit of a what we're going to do twice next year, and I've seen this worked with a couple of other places. For twice next year, there will be no heat races, Ryan, on what is a Twin 20s format. It'll be 2 20-lap features done for late models, end mods, and probably street stocks. After the first 20-lap feature, the winner of the race will pull a die out of the bottom of the bag, and we will invert between whatever that number is and the rest of the lead lap cars, and then we will give them a chance to go back to pits, make a couple adjustments, and then come back and then run another 20-lap feature. And the other kicker of it, both of them are full feature point paying events. So we're going to do a little bit of something different next year to spice a little bit of the show up on the late model mods and street stocks, and not just trying to do the same thing every single week, trying to liven the show up just a little bit and give it a little bit of a dynamic for our racers to chase after.
Right. It's been brought up that if Brian James does win the 100-lap race, I get to shave his head on the front stretch.
Where'd Brian go? I just saw Brian walk. Well, Matt's here. Notice that everybody here, you can't see it on camera, but notice that Matt James was fashionably late like we didn't already project that. What time did you work till? 5? Okay, I figured that was why. So you're only 2.5 hours late. That's good for you. You would have made 1 lap of qualifying if that would have been the case. Grant, he was the track champ last year. I can't even say anything. He didn't have to be late to qualifying because most of the time his class didn't qualify.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got going on.
No, just 1 feature payout there, Casey.
Yep, 1 feature payoff at the end of the night. Let's see. I got 1 question for the Traveling Mod Series on mine right now. Is there any info on the new modified series, windshields, wider tires, etc., or did that die out? That one was brought up at the rules meeting. I'll go ahead and defer that to you. Yeah,
that kind of died out. There's a few issues with that, so we reverted back to the 2016 iCar rules that was in place in 2016, and we'll continue that with 2018.
I got a question as far as what's going on as far as guys on the front side this year as far as fans. You brought up already the Kids' Day with the Pinewood Derby, but as always, we're going to bring back the traditional autograph sessions. You're bringing back, I believe, the pit stop competition again to get the crowd involved as well, right?
Yep, the pit stop competition, and
he's already planning on shaving your head for some reason. Wait, no, I know what that's for. Hold on, thank you. That goes to me, sorry. There's a stack of DVDs that are waiting on him that definitely go to him, so. I know what it looks like, especially because where we're next to. Or what's around here, according to somebody.
Another around here?
Yeah, there is.
Oh.
Just go with me. I'm trying not to say it because this is a family show.
Brian, if you win the 100-lap race, we get to shave your head on the front stretch.
If I win it or when I win it?
If you win it.
Wow. The trash talking for the sportsman race has already began in the background.
There must not be anybody else showing up.
Well, Tommy's going to stay on the bottom. You got to go to the top.
Hold on. Him to the top? You know, hell can freeze over. See, Tommy laughed when I said that, too. That's the bad part. Which one of those 2 do you want up here first?
Brian said he's coming up
All
first.
Right, Brian, come on up.
Come on up, Brian.
Yeah, Brian, you got to talk right now. Leave the beer on the table. That's an FCC rule. We got to behave.
Billy, you got a better chance of winning than Brian does. Oh, Brian's already up here. Here, put these on. Soup, we're working on a non-wing sprint car show. Just trying to get details of it.
In the meantime, joining us now in the hot seat, best way to describe it, Brian James, former track champion in compact, street stocks, and late models. Brian, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry your brother made you late.
Thanks for having me. Well, we kind of expected that because it's Matt. So.
Well, we were joking that he didn't have to worry about being late last year to the track because his class didn't qualify. Now, if you would be relying on him every week, you'd probably be SOL starting at the back every time.
Well, yeah, probably. That's probably a pretty accurate statement.
Bring the mic up just a little bit.
Pretty accurate
there you
statement.
Go. That's better.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. And we got cars on track down at Pensacola. Take a look at the screen right now. Well, yeah, it's no secret where he works at now. So the only thing is he's got nicer toys than we all do.
We brought the big set out for him, Lee.
What big set? What do you got here? Can't believe those headphones fit around that head. Wow, thanks, Lee. Appreciate that.
Well, in their defense, that headset's usually on my head, and
trust me, that head's that big.
Yeah, you can go ahead and finish the joke from there.
Yeah, you're all right. You're all right.
So you got a lot of stuff going on here in the off season. Talk a little bit about it.
I just released a little promo video. Most of you guys probably seen it. It's on my fan page, but I'm working on some other sponsors to get some really big names on my car. I'm hoping to do a little something different. I want to travel a little bit next year, maybe go to some of the bigger races, Winchester, and I went to IRP last year, and I wouldn't say it was an embarrassment, but
you weren't happy when you left.
I wasn't very happy when I left, so I got to redeem myself at a couple different tracks with a Sportsman, and I got it ripped apart right now. The car's all the way apart. So everybody knows, my stepdad's Mr. Zent, and he is friends with Mr. Tommy Cook over here, and I kind of got a burr up my rear end about a month ago. He went over to Tommy's shop, I guess, and he says, well, Cook and Lee and all them guys got his car all the way apart already. They're already putting it back together for next season. He said he's going to be done by Christmas. So that kind of got burr up my butt a little bit, and got the car ripped down. Going to go through the engine, go through a bunch of other stuff. There's going to be some updates on the car this year.
Can we hint at what I've seen that nobody else has seen?
Which one's that?
Driver change?
No, I didn't think that was going to happen.
Oh.
No, I'm talking about the appearance.
Oh yeah, it will be. We can release that. Obviously, if you guys follow my fan page, you've seen that I was asking for some fans to design the car. But what had happened with that was me and the design guy kind of got together, and it was going to cost way too much money for him to take somebody else's design and put it all over my car, and I'm not made of money. So what we did was,
sure?
People in my family are. How's that?
Good save.
There you go. I am not though, but what we decided to do is I'm going to have one of the fans is going to design the whole entire rear tail panel. I put a little incentive to put it on. You'll get, all my confetti gear, and I'm going to get you a season pass to Baer Field for all year for the grandstand side. But the whole appearance of the car is going to change. It still will have lots of orange and black, but I'm not going to say a whole lot more, but it still will go with the theme that I've always been with. The skeletons and the Halloween-y stuff.
I will give you this, that I've seen a couple of the mock-ups, and I do got to be a little bit. It does look pretty freaking sweet.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we got. Obviously I got to keep my biggest sponsor, Grody, on the hood and on the side and some other places, but we're definitely gonna change it up. It's very busy, I'll say that, but you won't see another car like it, I promise you that.
You and I talked a little bit when you and I were getting the promo video worked on, and a lot about self-promotion. Mm-hmm. And you and I have kind of talked about how you're one of the better ones as far as getting out there with the crowd, kind of like with the design the race car look. Talk a little bit about self-promotion as far as the sport, because I told you I see a lot of the dirt guys do it spontaneously,
right,
but it's something that the pavement guys haven't necessarily caught up with yet. So talk a little bit about as far as what you think, in general, guys could do to self-promote a little better, especially on the asphalt side.
Well, it all goes back to, the beginning of it, to where my buddy Josh Perkins kind of gave me the name. It was a joke thing, and I just ran with it with the boom confetti stuff. Well, my biggest thing is everybody knows that I have a huge ego. Okay.
We won't argue that.
I didn't
knows
realize that.
Please comment.
We were shocked.
Wow. We all know.
Yeah, like we said, we were shocked the headset fit, but I figured if it goes over my fat head, it would be no problem going over yours.
Right. That's my biggest fan right there, Josh Eldridge. Thanks, buddy.
Is he like Chester to you?
Yes.
Good save.
Basically, it comes down to you have to just promote yourself as much as you can. You have to get out there. You have to beat on doors and talk to a lot of businesses and talk to whoever you can to get your name bigger. And as you do better with your, I mean, you don't really have to be a top 5 driver every week, to be honest with you. If you just promote yourself by either all the social media outlets or, just getting out there and getting shirts out and talking to a lot of businesses. I catch a lot of grief because I got some pretty good sponsors. Well, the reason I have good sponsors is because I bend over backwards for my sponsor. I do all the PR that I can with them. I do car shows. I do parades, a day at their business. I do a lot of stuff that a lot of people, when they go to try to get sponsorships and self-promote themselves to get sponsored, you have to have a good name for yourself to get the sponsorships. And you can't, one of the biggest things, actually I'll back that up a minute. One of the biggest things is don't get on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and everything else and bash the racetrack and bash another driver. That is the worst thing you can do. I'm guilty of it. I've done it before, but I've learned from my mistakes.
I was going to say, disclaimer, you've done it before.
Yes, correct.
So.
But I did learn from my
I think
mistakes.
I've had to call you before.
Yes.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So, and it just goes to stuff like that. You just got to, before you type that and you're a keyboard warrior, take a breath and think about what you're going to say before you say it.
Oh, your brother is mean.
What is
He's
he?
sitting right there, and he fires in. You know you've made it big when your shirt is at Goodwill.
That's true. That's true.
Yes, it is.
How many shirt sales did you have last year, Matt?
Oh,
None. And he's wearing a Seneca shirt and drives a front-wheel drive.
The only thing I want to know is how much was the shirt selling for at Goodwill?
It was half price.
Was it on the $2 rack or was it on the $4 rack? Because depending on the 2 or the 4, that may be out of my price range. Let's see what we got going on. Dave was laughing at that. That's the bad part.
But anyway, long story short.
I use mine for a grease rag, so I ain't worried about it.
Hey, you know what? At the end of the day,
It was black.
I sold it. It doesn't matter.
Hey.
That's true.
And it doesn't matter.
You make a good straight man when it comes to trying to hold a non-comedic face, by the way.
Well, there was a debate going on Facebook the other day about why is dirt tracks drivers more popular than asphalt drivers. And it's because they have T-shirts. If you go to a dirt race, you walk down the aisle in the pits, there's shirts hanging all over there for sale.
And not just that, and I talked to you about this on Wednesday. The successful guys like the Bobby Pierces and in the sprint car world, the Brady Bacons and the Steve Kinsers, they didn't just sign autographs at designated autograph sessions. They make it a point that if they're not in their pits working on something, they make sure to go up to the crowd and go to their trailers to sign autographs. And that's something that the pavement guys haven't completely embraced yet and I know a lot of the pavement guys are working on very small crews and can't get away. That being said, you can still make an opportunity at the end of the night when your class is done to still go to the front side and sign T-shirts, sign other stuff, and just be among the people, be among your fans.
And that's the biggest thing is you gotta. I understand everybody's got a lot of work to do to the car. I am the biggest understander for that. Trust me. Dave's seen, some of my nights over there where I don't usually have a whole lot of help. So basically, you got to do what you got to do to get over to the fans and talk to them and mingle with them and let them know you're not anything super special NASCAR driver or anything. Just go over and mingle with them, hang out with them. I mean, 9 times out of 10 they're going to ask you questions that you know about, and
You did steal Jimmy Johnson's bit, though.
That's
the funny part is everybody
out.
thinks that you came up with that.
No.
It came after the ad came.
It was almost the same exact time because when Perkins dubbed me that, I never seen that commercial when he told me about it. So I don't know if it was out before or whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's one of them things where I just ran. It was like you said the other night. It was a joke. I ran with it, and it stuck. And, that's one of the biggest things I love doing is climbing that flag stand at the end of the night and shooting that cannon off.
And the kids like it.
And the kids love it, and I get a kick out of it, and it's like Tommy. Every time Tommy takes a picture, you know exactly how he's going to stand. But that's Tommy. You guys never notice that? He stands with the flag to his left.
That's why I commonly use his photo in the promo shots, as I know what I'm going to get.
Correct. Flag to the left and feet crossed. That's just how he is. But no, it's not really that hard to self-promote yourself. You just have to get out there and use every outlet that you possibly can. Everybody has a phone or a computer. I mean, that's all you got to do is make pages and use everything you got.
Real quick, want to thank everybody for joining us here live for News from the Field on our Barefoot Motorsports Park Facebook, and we want to thank our gracious hosts this evening, the folks here at Jags Bar and Grill, for being the first location that we've done this show on location. So make sure you come on out here all weekend long, as they'll be playing the Snowball Derby pay-per-view, courtesy our friends at speed51.com all weekend long. Is they're going to be getting underway in about a half hour's time down there in Pensacola, where I'm pretty sure it may be warmer than it is here.
Now, the doors will open on Sunday at 2 o'clock because the race starts at 3. So that way everybody can get their seats, get their beer, get all their food ready. So when the Derby comes on at 3 o'clock on Sunday.
Keep the comments rolling in here on Barefoot Motorsports Park Facebook feed. We are checking out the chat as you go. And if you're in the crowd and you have a question for anybody up here at the table, whether it be myself, Dave Mazzillo, or currently Brian Janes, we do have the wireless microphone that our gracious Vanna White, also known as Jody Mazzillo, will be allowed to bring around to you. So if you got a comment, go ahead and flag Jody down and ask your question, and we'll answer it here live on the air.
Well, let's get back to the self-promoting. A lot of guys don't understand these T-shirts are cheap. Go get you some T-shirts made.
Cheap-ish.
Cheapish. Yeah.
Depends on your vendor.
So last year we had a deal where you could sell your own swag. It was a swag day. Well, you can actually do that every night. Brian's mom does it every night. And that's probably why they sell so many shirts. And that's why they're Goodwill.
Before we get the next guest on in here, we do want to say, Brian, thanks for joining us here on the show, and we appreciate the time taken out to it. And hopefully the little project you and I worked on will hopefully get you a little bit more help in the season for when we will glad to be having you back.
I hope so, and I'm looking forward to racing Bearfield in 2018.
And I'm pretty sure you got to be happy that you got some stiff competition coming this year too.
Who, Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy's always good competition.
Listen, I'm going to tell you a little story about Tommy. When I first came into late models, I was very dependent on the crew. Well, that crew left, and just this past year, I started doing it on my own, and mid-season, it was all me, everything. I mean, I had a little help from, talking to some people around the track, but Tommy Cook is the person to ask questions to. He will shoot you straight answers. He will be totally honest with you all the time, and he's really good competition. I mean, we've always.
You want to scoot so you can be a little more.
No, I'm just behind Brian's big head. They couldn't see me. Right, Gene?
We've always got along, and he said a quote to me that'll stick with me, till the end of my racing career, and one of them was, "Keep it simple, stupid." I mean, that's all you have to do. Just keep it simple, and things will start to happen.
You're having way too much fun.
That's
with this right
one
now.
thing I've learned from Mr. Cook. But yeah, he's a good guy, and I'm excited to race him again next year.
Brian James, thanks for joining us here on News from the Field, and good luck this season.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Tommy. Tommy, you done eating yet? Tommy's not done eating yet, so we can't completely get him.
It's time for Sean to come up.
Sean Poffenberger's next up. Okay, Tommy's still eating. Poffenberger, get up here. Leave your beer on the table and come on up. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we got to talk to you. This is very important.
Once again, we're live here at Jags Bar and Grill, north side of Fort Wayne, just off Lima Road. I want to thank everybody here for having us out for the show, and glad to see a lot of our racers and fans coming out here to join us as well. That means you, Grabner. We see you back there as well. Yes, Mike, we see you as well. We're happy to see you. Okay, Sean, put the headphones on. They're sized to fit my head, so you may need to shrink them or enlarge them, depending on where you land. You had to take them down because they're on Brian's head? Okay, that's a fair assessment. Here, grab that. Make sure it's turned on.
Still turned on.
No, it's turned off. Here. Do I have to engineer? Hey, there you go. I heard the click.
You are an engineer.
You heard the click in your head, didn't you? Sean Poffenberger, you were kind of feeling like a kid at Christmas when this guy made the announcement of Outlaw front-wheel drive, and you were kind of bringing up some of the subtle variances about where both of them belong as far as in the scope of short track racing and the benefits to both. Go into that a little bit. Hold the mic up here. I've got to train all of you guys how to do this, don't I?
You're going to have to train us very well.
It's like,
Always a
singing
pet
karaoke,
project.
man. It's like
was that?
singing karaoke.
No, that'll be Saturday.
Well, in his defense, singing karaoke is usually done not sober.
He's already been tipping.
Oh, fair enough. What? You know it's true.
Absolutely.
I know what goes on at Dibble's Backyard Speedway during the end of the year.
You need to come out
See,
and run.
Matt laughed. I was going to, crap, that just went out.
Well,
it's nothing incriminating.
when we advertised that we were going to do the outlaw class, it takes,
Matt's happy too.
takes a sponsor to be able to make this work. Well, the sponsor for the 2018 Outlaw front wheel drives is Tammy's Towing. So if anybody has any junk cars out there that want to get rid of, just give Tammy's Towing a call. They'll be glad to take care of you.
They'll come drag them out of your driveway.
And as far as sponsors go, that was our new sponsor in the likes of them. You told me that was probably some of the friendliest people that you've ever dealt with ever as far as the sport goes.
Oh, they were great people. Very polite. They're all excited about the train race.
No, here, hold it right about there.
Yeah.
I was, like I said, I have to train
Is
you
that-
guys.
is that good enough for you
That's
now?
better now. That's you falling asleep, or are you making fun of him slumping right now? By the way, we already got one for you that says "Get a haircut, you hippie," but you made the joke that this is a month for you. How long has it been?
This is
Rachel, how long has it been?
Almost 16 months worth of beard growth.
See, Rachel just panicked when I called her out for that. My bad. So you said you started growing it the day after your wedding, so
I told her I'd be clean shaven for the wedding, so next day was beard growing season, and it hasn't stopped.
well, one person said Jesus will speak, so apparently you're now Jesus level of a beard.
I'm known as
Which it is almost Christmas, so good timing.
I was Jesus for Halloween this year.
Did you go the white sandals and everything too?
No sandals, but white robe, belt, and lots of debauchery. I mean,
That
praise.
sounds like a toga party.
No, that was college. If you dig back far enough, you'll find mine. Anyway, back what we were originally talking about.
In a
Outlaw
roundabout
Compact and
way.
Stock Compact, go.
Really thankful for Dave for bringing out the Outlaw Compacts this year. Give us a place to step up and be able to go fast instead of be restricted in the front-wheel drive class. There's several of us have been talking about it for several years and made an attempt at it a couple years ago and didn't get quite the car counts to sustain the class. But I think we got a good effort going this year and got a lot of guys excited about it.
And you talked a little bit about it. What was the, other than just everybody being enough interest, you're thinking this time around with that class there's enough to let it go long term?
I hope so. That's why we're going to start it out as in every other night, and then because we wanted to do our train race, that was first before the Outlaws. But then I had so much interest with the Outlaws, so we got to kind of split it because we can't be out there, 10 hours racing.
We can't?
Oh no.
Why not?
Oh no. Short.
Well,
short
the
that
first
span up.
problem with being out there that long is Matt's not going to be there for half of it, so he's going to be well rested and have an advantage over everybody. The second part is that long of a race day just isn't feasible now with the modern fan mindset. I mean, your goal this year is to be done with starting at 6 o'clock. Your goal is to be done by 9:30 each night.
Oh yeah. Yep. I think by doing that, we're going to be able to bring more families out because we're a family-oriented track. So the families can bring their kids out, and they'll still be able to enjoy the facility and still be home at a decent hour.
What's longer? Oh, Darcy would be the person to ask this to you. What's longer, the beard or the ponytail?
Depends on how high I rear the ponytail.
I was gonna say, can you make that one longer, or is the beard slowly but surely catching that?
I can wear the hair as a mustache if that tells you anything.
How the hell long have you been growing a hair? That was short when you and I first met.
About 3 years.
I was gonna say I was still in college when that was relatively short.
Still in college. What, were you going for a doctorate?
No, it was just been that long. You and I first met in 2012, and it's been 5 years. So that being said, yeah, I just gave away my age too, more or less. Yeah, I know, darn kid, guilty. But you were talking about as far as wanting to be a family-oriented track, and with the addition of the train races and the Outlaw Compacts, this does give each and every race night a little bit of variety as well.
We've got something going on almost every single night. I mean, there's just not, like last year, there'd be some nights where we only had the hot 5 running. Well, there's actually something going on every night, different. So everybody's got a wide variety of what they can do. Now, what I like about the train racing is if somebody in the spectator side wants to get in the train race in the Baer group,
Yeah, they can run our car.
they can run the car.
Now, the next question I have to ask, because he's probably psycho enough to say yes to this. So how quickly are you and Denny going to build a train together?
Depends on how quickly I can talk him into
I was going to
building
say,
one.
so how quickly do you have to go talk Denny into building a train car?
There's like 17 chassis at that man's house waiting to be built into something, so I'm sure we can talk him into building at least one.
And the next question is, how much are they allowed to cheat on these cars? Or does it have to be strict bare bones with minimal safety?
Bare bones. Bare bones.
Bare bones.
You got to remember.
You know, if it's a Tucker car, it's bare bones.
That. You got to remember that front
won't
car's
go
got to
there.
pull 2 other cars.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So front car, drop a Hemi in. Next car. What?
Oh no.
Oh, well, yeah, true.
We're gonna make sure that intake that Matt had won't end up on a car.
Well, there's been enough comments in here from when Brian was up here, plus when Sean's up here. We've seen the word cheater come off here enough times. So, if the trigger phrase for doing a shot at the bar is cheater, I'm pretty sure one of us would be loaded by now.
Now, what a lot of people's been asking is, no, we're not going to be impounding the tires on the chain cars. Now, if let's say a guy puts a train cars together, he can actually leave them at the track during the week. You don't have to take them home with you. You can leave them at the track.
Because you're there most of the time anyway.
Yeah.
You make decent security. Plus the neighbors.
Well, plus I can play with them during the off days.
You have enough fun on the four-wheeler out at the racetrack. You don't need anything else to play with.
True.
Jody just shot me a dirty look when I said that, too.
So the insurance guy.
I think by this point he expects it out of you by now.
Going back real quick to Dave's mention of special events each night, we are currently looking for a title sponsor for an Outlaw 100 lapper on the half mile.
I was curious if you were going to work that in right now.
Couldn't help it.
We were figuring you were going to say that. These guys want to blow their stuff up on the half, don't they?
No, we want a chance at the half mile all by ourselves.
Yeah, but is that a race or an enduro race?
No, not an enduro. 100 lap, true race. No
I
enduro
like the
style.
enduro part.
No,
Why? Because they race around.
because we don't build race cars to run enduros.
We'll do
Okay.
one in October. We'll put an enduro race in October.
You got one member of that family excited, and the other one started panicking as soon as you said that.
Anything gets Brian excited about October.
How about a
No,
24-hour enduro race?
You can't race too much out there because Brian takes his weekends to build the haunted house that I've already told him next year I want to be one of the creepers in.
Whether you're in the haunted house or not, you're still a creeper some days.
Well, yeah, we know that, but still.
Yes, you have to run a roll cage in the train cars with a racing seat.
What else we got going on? We got all sorts of. Wow, these guys already want to know if they can how much they can cheater these up. Can we run bump stops in the chain cars? Roll cages needed in chain cars. Racing seat. Wow, they immediately wanted to go out in the garage and start breaking out the welders, and breaking out the mass, and seeing what they can do.
You got to remember your traction control at that point.
I'm looking at you for that. You realize anytime you introduce something as fun, everybody immediately is going to start taking it as the next level of competitive.
You only have to run a Hans device in the upper classes. The other classes are recommended.
Who else we got going on?
We're going to focus on the dirt racing in 2 weeks when we're at Jason Dietz trailer sales.
That's right. In 2 weeks, we'll be back with a new episode of News from the Field, and we will be at Jason Dietz Trailer Sales over at our friends in Edgerton, Ohio. And Jason's been a longtime supporter of Bearfield and a longtime supporter of the old iCar series, and we're looking forward to having him back as a sponsor in 2018.
Oh, yeah, Jason's been great.
So that's why in 2 weeks we'll go over the dirt track just to let everybody know as far as what's going on, and that's going to be for both the 6th mile and the quarter mile, correct?
Correct.
All right. That's as far as it goes. What else you guys been doing during the off season? I know you kind of had to pick and choose what you raced last year. Are you coming back for a full campaign with the Outlaw class, or are you going to do 1 and 1?
I'm in full bore for the Outlaws. We're hoping to build that class above 15, so he'll put us on the half mile every other week.
So Rachel gave you permission to come out and play from now on.
She says go race whatever.
Is that why you married her?
Damn right.
Oh, that's what I figured. It's okay, Rachel. We're just talking about you amongst ourselves. Just us and about a couple hundred people watching on the internet. Don't put the mic in front of the speaker. What was that?
See? Told you that's why I married her.
You got a sugar mama.
And no, her sisters are not like her. Don't even ask.
I was going to say, if you got a sugar mama that can support your race car, we need about 50 of those for the rest of the guys in the pit area. Don't you dare say it. I know exactly what is going through your head right now. Do not say it. At least not for another, how long is it going to be? Beside the point, anyway. So
It don't matter. Mac needs a girlfriend really bad.
I knew that was going to come.
Matthew.
What?
No, better not do that. We're on camera.
Here, you better take this from me.
I'm not going. I can't touch this because, well, yeah. There's a funny one. Yes, they do have internet in Edgerton. We've decided that Dave will be up front hand cranking it and making sure we keep the show on the air. And if that doesn't work, we will be hearing the famous phrase, "You've got mail."
Right. That came in from Billy.
Yeah, like I said, Billy asked if we had internet in Edgerton. Let's see what else we got going on. Keep the chat coming in. We're going to be here probably until about 8 or 8:15, time permitting.
About 8:30.
About 8:30.
Yeah, why not?
I told the sitter 8:30. Anyway.
You were late getting here anyways.
No, I wasn't.
I was here before you, so that means you were late.
Yeah, no, I was here to set everything up, and we still went on at 7 o'clock, so,
All right, gentlemen. I'm going to go have some dinner. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Mac, for what you do.
Sean Poppenberger, everybody, thanks for joining us here on News from the Field. Do we want to let Matt talk?
We will in a little bit.
Okay. Tommy, you done eating? Okay, Tommy's done eating, so we can finally make him come on up. Hollywood Tommy Cook.
And he gets the spotlight.
He gets a spotlight?
Yeah.
Okay. You've done enough interviews on the front stretch with people. Do I have to show you how to work the microphone, or do you understand it?
No, I got it.
Not quite. You got to flip the switch. There you go.
I got it.
And make sure the people can see you. The camera's there. Try not to blind yourself. I know you got... No, don't do that. That's deafening. Ow. Smart Alec.
I'll just leave it sit.
Well, we got to be able to hear what you say. Anyway.
Mr. Hollywood.
Yes, sir.
That's what they called you. Zach Saylor. You got one fan.
That would probably be my only one.
Yeah, you got one fan, but I refer to you as the guy that had to go and mess up Point Chase last year because cherry picking, you won how many features with us?
I'm not sure. I think we won 10 total last year.
A little closer. There you go. Okay, you got 10 total features. I think you got 3 or 4 with us. So you had another successful and many ways banner year again last year.
Yeah, I think Lee said we had 38 features in 4 years, so that ain't too bad.
That's all?
That's all.
You couldn't get 40? You couldn't make it a nice even 40, 10 wins every week?
Well, we had another one,
every
but
year?
somebody took it from me.
What?
I got DQ'd.
For what?
On that note, I'm going to let these two handle it amongst themselves.
For what? This is the first time I'm hearing about this. What happened?
Whatever. Just so everybody knows, it wasn't the motor was legal, the carburetor was legal. It was we had a 6,600 RPM and traction control.
You want to show him your traction control real quick?
Yeah, it's right here. That's all you need.
Brian's the one looking at him right now. That's the bad part. But in your defense, at least you can run the top groove.
Yeah, I think I probably passed the most cars on the outside.
I'm glad that's out of camera.
Well, it's always slow cars at the bottom anyways.
Wow.
Sorry, Brian. It was there.
You see, okay, we'll be nice here. We only pick on Brian because, well, it's fun.
I was going to say, it's just because it's Brian.
And your guys' shop is about probably a PGA par 5 from his, so there's a little bit of... This is the neat thing with me is how much camaraderie yet rivalry there is in the New Haven area as far as race cars go.
There's a lot of racers in New Haven. I really don't see much from Brian, but I do see his stepdad stops by every once in a while. Lee was actually going to put him in one of our cars last summer, but I don't know what happened with Larry. I think Larry chickened out on this.
What'd you... Be nice to the old man. Be nice.
Well, I really don't think Larry wanted to beat Brian, because then he'd have to listen to it all week. So
which one?
Probably both of them.
He's still off camera. We can't help it pick on him.
Yeah.
But you guys had a successful 2017, and you're looking forward to coming back again in 2018. You've been around this game long enough. In fact, we got somebody that wanted to know just how old are you? With
old.
Between 1 and what?
50.
You're not 50.
You said between 1 and what?
Oh,
I said between 1 and 50.
I should have also told you that, don't lie. And, nice. Larry's watching.
I'm older than Tom, by the way.
So you went to school with...
No, I didn't go with him.
No, I mean you went to
Jesus.
No, I was going to say you went to school with Moses and he went with Jesus. That's probably the age variance
Yeah,
between the two.
I think when Dave went, they had wooden wheels. I
Well,
at least had rubber.
I thought
Wood. It was stone.
their senior class project in science was fire.
Yeah,
Try soaking a stone tire once. See how it works.
we have.
That'll get the neighbors called on us. There was a situation where tires were getting lit on fire out at the racetrack before, and the friends at the airport were like, "Hey, what are you guys doing over there?"
I think he's 48.
You're playing a high-low game?
No, he's
Like Price
48.
is Right. Anyway, besides from trying to guess your age between 1 and somewhere between 50 and wherever,
48.
You keep relatively busy during the wintertime as well. You got your detailing business, but also you spend a good amount of time spending the winter not just doing your car, but you also kind of reskin and rework more than just your car. You do a couple different Sportsmans and your Jegs car, right?
Well, we just got the one Sportsman and the Jegs car.
Okay, I thought
That's
you
all
got,
we got.
okay. Well, last time I was there was more than that.
Yeah, you were probably there when we was working on Frank's car or another one of the street stocks.
And relatively, how long does it take? If you end of the year, what's it take as far as taking a car back down and putting it back together? Do you completely recut it up, or do you get the motor taken out of it and put it back together, or
Well, we just
or is the crew chief right now shooting me a dirty look because he doesn't want me to give the secrets away?
we just cut up probably one of the fastest cars in the country, and we're hoping to have it back together by Christmas. So it's actually being powder coated right now.
I want to take you to get a race car torn apart and back together.
I did one in a week.
That quick?
Yeah.
So-
Driver stuffed the one in the wall, and we had to rebuild another one in a week.
Well, you got to remember, I got a senior citizen crew. All of us are old.
So, new sponsor is AARP next year for you, right?
I'll take it.
I say AARP, or you get, well, if we were in Ohio, it'd be Golden Buckeye. You see, if it's
Yeah.
my dad, I made the joke that, in another year, my dad turns 65, which I tell him, I don't care about the health benefits. I care about the fact that his race tickets get cheaper again.
Yeah, well, with my team, I think, well, Jeff's actually the youngest, but I think everybody else is in the 50s, aren't they, Lee? Yeah. We take our time when we do everything.
What, have a cigarette, then go back to work? Or,
Yeah, pretty much.
Or does it take you guys that long to get from the car in the parking lot through the front door?
That's probably about noon.
What, getting through the front door?
Yeah.
And you park the car at, what, 9 a.m.? It's a long walk from your front door into the shop.
Yes, Steve, we will have a big paying modified show this year.
Yeah, I got
Big paying late model show, you say?
You already got one. 100
No.
lap race.
Well, I haven't seen the pay.
2,000 to win.
We'll be there.
As,
I knew you
as
would
if
be.
you needed convincing. You heard 100 laps and you didn't even need to know the rest.
You're all right.
Let's see what else we got. Yeah, Teresa Zent, thanks for watching. Glad to know Larry's watching as well. One of the legends out at Bearfield back in the old days, and still has an Outlaw Super Late that he comes out and plays with a couple times with us. Yeah, there's the first cheater comment out of there.
Lee's older than dirt, by the way.
Nah, I don't think Lee's that old.
That comes from Lyle Johnson, so you can deal with Lyle when you see him.
I think Lyle's older than Lee.
And got one.
Leo, Lyle remembers the bang when it all started.
God said, "Let there be light," and it was really no, just God just went click. I got a question as far. Oh, this is coming in. Did I miss the late model announcement? That's coming from Chad Richardson, and yes, that is indeed the case. As we brought up, CRA Sportsman guys are coming back next year for 2 shows: a 50-lapper in June, and then a big 100-lapper coming up in August.
Correct, August 4th.
And that's going to be a 100 laps and $2,000 to win, and the rest of the scale is still being determined amongst you and CRA officials. Correct?
Yep.
That's what I thought. And how quickly will you be the first car at the pit gate?
Yeah.
We kind of. There's probably the 2 people that are sitting closest to us will probably be the first 2 trailers waiting at the gate when that. It's gonna be like the movie Barbarians at the Gate, except with race cars.
I don't know. Lyle and TJ, I think, beat us to the gate a lot last year on the bigger shows.
Well, TJ's also about half the age of the rest of you. Because
Yeah.
TJ's close to my age.
Thanks for reminding me.
Sorry, didn't want to go there. Dwayne says, watch talking about age.
I ain't saying nothing about Dwayne.
We didn't say anything about Dwayne. We were harassing the people that are here. We're nice to Dwayne. Let's see what else we got. No, that's everything as far as the late model announcement goes. Got a question as far as what about getting a few big names to visit at the track? And we've kind of brought up before, if we really wanted to get a NASCAR name, that's what, 15 grand each time?
Yeah, we'll take that money and give it right back to the guys that support us on a weekly basis. If we got that kind of money later on, we're gonna make it go back to the guys that support us. Those NASCAR guys, they don't need the money. They can go someplace else and play. We have our own little playground to play with.
And we're deeply appreciative of all the guys that do out and race with us. And it's like a lot of what I bring up as far as spending big money like that. Big money like that would be better suited at other aspects of the track, not just the racers, but a lot of stuff we want to do on the front side. A lot of things need to get, fixed up around the racetrack, which we hear it all the time. When are you guys going to fix this? When are you going to fix that? And the big secret is for 55 years, this place has been privately owned, and it doesn't get the city subsidies that the other facilities do. So it took 55 years for the track to get in the way it is. It's going to take a little bit of time for us to get it back to where it needs to be.
Right. It takes there's just so much to do with concession stand, bathrooms, ticket booths, bleachers, more lighting, more PA system. I mean, it's went in bad state for years, and now we have to bring it back to where it needs to be. So it's to be a showcase place. And it would be nice to be able to get some help from the city, but you know what? At least they let us keep the doors open.
That is indeed true. By the way, Jeff Igney says, tell Tommy he's a cheater, so Jeff's definitely watching. I figured that would make you smile.
He's on your crew, ain't he?
Yeah.
So he knows what's illegal in the car.
Yeah.
He might have put it there.
Yeah. We'll
Maybe
go with that.
Is he switching over to Brian's team? Is that what the deal is? Is he jumping ship?
He might be.
Might be after this.
Okay, I also want to settle this once and for all. For everybody that keeps screaming on repave the track, you want to tell everybody just how much that costs?
It's $100,000.
There you go.
And that is a sweet deal that Terry Fisher worked out with Brooks to be able to do it. But we have to come up with the $100,000. But just besides doing that, before we do that, we need to put a new front stretch wall in, new catch fence, then pave the track. Can't put the cart in front of the horse on when you do the track. And
that also doesn't even include redoing the pits, repaving the roads in there, redoing the concrete slabs, and then the entranceway roads on the front side of the facility. So you're not just looking the half mile in the front stretch and the 3/8 mile. You need to look at everything as far as all-encompassing everywhere around the facility.
Well, the roads in the pits are getting done this year or beginning of the season. They have to be done. They're unacceptable.
Because I'm trying to think. I think that's probably one of the original roads that have even been into the place. So those roads probably date back to about 1965.
No, those roads are repaved about 15 years ago is what I'm being told.
Okay, I wasn't quite sure when those were. Because remember, I'm not completely native to the area, so I wasn't sure. Yeah, so those are 15-year-old roads, and we live in the north where weather and winter is a little bit harsh.
Yeah, let's just skip to another section before.
Let's see what else we got going on. You're also one of the few guys that, despite the track we've ran on, half mile and 3/8, you've been successful on both. So
I actually
talk about, there's the big conception that there's so much different, but you said there really isn't too much between the two.
I actually like the 3/8 mile mainly because the racing is better. The half mile shows just seem like they get strung out, and to me it's boring. It's boring for the fans to watch, when you've only got 10, 15 cars out there and it gets single file and then there's no passing. On the 3/8 mile, there's a lot of passing. There's just about action just about all the way around the racetrack. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the half mile. It doesn't matter to me where we run, but I'm partial to the 3/8 mile.
I'm kind of laughing. Lyle Johnson says the track is good, leave it alone. It never fails. The veterans of the place like it how it is, and they know how to get the setup around there. So,
when you put new pavement down, it's a whole new ball game for everybody.
And what a lot of people don't get too is when you do repave a track, two things happen. One, it's going to be single groove for the better part of the first year and a half to let it settle, and number two, the speeds are going to go up, which means that everybody's going to get faster, and the racing necessarily isn't better.
Well, when the track gets repaved, it's going to be repaved at the very end of the season, even if we got to cut a couple races, which it won't happen this year. We'll cut a couple races. We'll get the track paved. It will sit for at least 6 to 7 months before any cars even get on it. So it has a chance to cool down, and cure.
Josh Richardson watching from home says, I agree with Tommy. The half mile is a hashtag snooze fest. So,
And it really is. I mean, unless we get 30 cars out there, the half mile isn't the way to go. I know everybody wants us to run on the half mile, but it's not the way to go for the fans. Like I said, for the racing, for me, the half mile is boring. 3/8 mile is a lot more exciting. I'm kind of with Lyle. Leave it the way it is. It's got character, and us guys that run it just about every week, we have an advantage when the traveling series comes in.
Now, the show is being recorded, right? So we can go back when spring comes and you go out there and it's like, what the hell, man? Where'd those bumps come from?
we do archive every show.
I think I was the one that told you to leave the bump going into 3. Everybody else was complaining about it. I kind of liked it, but no. When you repave a racetrack, when Tom first did it, I can't remember how many years ago, it really was follow the leader. I think it's good right now, just the way it is. There's a lot of passing. There's, as far as I'm concerned, really good racing. And it has character. So
how about if we just pave the top groove?
That's where I'd
That
be
won't
at.
help Ryan out.
Yeah, well,
Where did he go? He's not even here for us to make fun of him anymore. I couldn't leave that alone. I'm sorry. He'll be fast, but Tommy, Brian won't be in any good shape. But
no, Brian will be fast. He's a good kid.
well, either way, Tommy, thanks for joining us here on News from the Field. We're looking forward to seeing you a lot in 2018.
Thank you for having me.
All right, good luck in the offseason. We'll see you come spring.
Thank you.
Tommy Cook, everybody, here on Barefield Motorsports Park News from the Field. We're live tonight at Jags Bar and Grill on the north side of Fort Wayne, just off of Lima Road, and want to thank everybody here from Jags Bar and Grill for having us here for the first ever time we've taken this show on the road. It was a little bit of an adventure of what we thought it was going to be when we first announced this thing 2 weeks ago, but after the big response we saw from show number 1 and seeing the big crowd we have in here tonight, it's been a huge success, and we're looking forward to taking it over to Edgerton, Ohio in 2 weeks over at Jason Dietz Trailer Sales. And if your business is interested in hosting News from the Field, make sure you call the track office with Dave Mazzola. And what's the phone number again of the track office?
668-4912.
That's an area code 260 phone number. He'll answer all the time, even though if he may or not want to. Just don't call him when he's sleeping, which usually isn't that often.
It looks like we got a lot of good sponsors coming back on board. Looks like we're going to gain quite a few more. Been getting a lot of emails just by companies actually texting us or emailing me to want to get more information on how they can advertise at the motor park. So that makes it feel kind of good when you have companies emailing you or calling you and wants to advertise out there.
Definitely good, exciting news indeed. So let's go ahead and recap real quick before we sign off for the evening. We went over a lot of the big scheduling announcements for 2018. So for those of us joining late, talk about all the big shows we have starting opening day is April 7th, and then what we got from there, and then we'll go ahead and call it a night.
May 19th, Hall of Fame, and it's the birthday party for the 55th year. We'll have cake and ice cream there. Working on an ice cream sponsor. So I guess that diet's probably out of the question. June 2nd, the Vores are going to be there.
Wait, who's dieting, you or me?
I've been dieting. Yeah, it's pretty bad when you can't bend over to tie your shoes.
Well, okay, fine. Good thing Jody didn't hear you say that right now, too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
June 23rd, we're going to have the CRA Sportsman's going 50 laps. Okay, guys, you guys got to quit arguing about the dirt and the asphalt. I know we grow food in the dirt, and we use asphalt to race on. We use asphalt to get there, but some guys drive down dirt roads to get there, too, guys.
Depending on the entranceway to the racetrack and depending on what kind of rain we've had, sometimes we get both of those.
And
what, am I wrong?
you need a boat sometime.
No, that's just usually some week in April or May when we get 10 inches of rain in 2 days.
June 30th, we have the Jegs All-Star Race with a 100-lap street stock race, and that'll all be on CRA's deal. August 4th, we got the 100-lap CRA Sportsman races. It'll be the last leg of the Triple Crown. There's 2 other races besides that, but not at our track. Kids Day on the 18th of August, which you'll be able to buy a Pinewood Derby car and make that. And Championship Night is 25th of August. That way everybody can get to Winchester for the weekend. the following weekend. And then we got some special shows in September and October.
And don't forget the 20th running of the prestigious Barefield Motorsports Park Gold Cup event will be ran under the ARCA CRA Super Series rules. That'll be coming up the weekend of July 28th. That'll be a 100-lap Super Series race on the half mile. So schedule officially gets put on the website tomorrow about noon, and then after that, everybody can kind of digest what all we got going on with everything else we've got planned. And schedule's already taken shape. Sprint car date going to be announced here in the next couple weeks as well with Auto Value. I know there's you and Tom are still working on dates, so but overall looks like a pretty healthy schedule, and looking forward to getting back at it again starting April 7th.
On the pavement side, it's probably the most aggressive schedule that's been out there for quite a while. Like I said, there's always something different.
I've been here since 2010 with everybody, and I got to say, looking at this is one of the healthiest schedules I've seen within the last decade. So, got a lot of neat stuff going on out there.
Yeah, I really enjoy doing the neat stuff instead of just the boring. I mean, when I travel with the modified series, they just run a regular racing program. I mean, there's nothing really special at a lot of these tracks. I think the only special thing I've ever seen at a track was a wedding. Other than that, it's just.
Did it last?
I don't know. They didn't own a race car, so it might have lasted.
Oh, then they're probably in better shape. But anyway, Dave, it's been another fun show. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here for the night. I'm glad to thank everybody that's commented on the feed. And once again, thanks for joining us here at Jags Bar and Grill 9 Road, our gracious host that put on a fantastic spread for everybody. Glad to see a lot of racers and fans come on out to watch. And everybody that's been in attendance tonight, give yourself a round of applause. Thanks for coming out and joining us. We're going to do this again in 2 weeks at Jason Dietz Trailer Sales over in Edgerton, Ohio. I want to thank Jason Dietz and everybody for having us here coming up in the next couple weeks. But
Jason didn't have us here. Rick did.
Yeah, Jason's having us in 2 weeks. Rick had us tonight.
Now remember to come out for the Snowball Derby party, which is tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
And that's
It's
where
on the big screen.
I say the big screen that's up off to our right is where you can watch everything that's going on down in Pensacola, where they do look like they're getting ready to get racing underway down there, and they're probably a lot warmer than we are here. So stick around here at Jags Bar and Grill. Enjoy the Snowball Derby watch party, and we will see you in 2 weeks on Barefield Motorsports Park Facebook Live for episode number 3 of News from the Field. For everybody that joined us on, Brian James, Tommy Cook, Sean Poffenberger, and everybody else here in attendance, he's Dave. I'm Mike McIntyre. Racer Max says good night. We'll see you next time.